Hi everyone, we're here today to have a chat about Audience Maximiser with Grant Smith from Century 21 Grant Smith Property on the Sunshine Coast. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Andrew. How are you?
Yeah, awesome. So Grant, how would you describe Audience Maximiser?
I think Audience Maximiser has been great for our business in the fact, we always like to early adopt products and trial anything that's new in the market that we can take to our clients. But for an office that is in a market of large offices with lots of salespeople, Audience Maximiser has really been a great way of getting our properties on a smaller scale as an office, not in reputation, but in numbers that we do compared to some of the bigger offices. Audience Maximiser has been able to take our properties into more of a social media platform and also other websites to take our properties further afield to give a perception of saturation in the market.
Yeah, no, certainly, and I suppose it's a good reason for your office to be on board, and I imagine the ease of the process to be actual book the Audience Maximiser as well.
It is. With us, we did the Audience Maximiser all, so we simply wrap our marketing budget for the Audience Maximiser into our Premier All campaign, and it's simply one package. It's not actually an option for our clients to have the option of building an Audience Maximiser or even selling it to them. How we incorporate it to our clients is that it's included in their Premier All, which reality is also at the lowest price point because of what we committed to doing the Premier All. That basically enables us to sell the product onto our buyers as one package, but more so included as one of the few offices that offer that as a free part of their Premier property, as opposed to a plus sort of system. Yeah,
so a comprehensive digital campaign that covers all the bases. And
exactly right. We've certainly, over the last few years, and it becomes more and more evident, wound back the print media. So if there is ever that sort of roadblock from our sellers about the cost of online, we simply say, look, if I had been proposing a campaign to you 3-4 years ago and we did, let's say for argument's sake, for a case scenario, 3 or 4 quarter-page ads, well, that would have cost you $3,000 more than what I'm proposing to you now. And there's nothing measurable about print, whereas absolutely every package, whether it be your Premier property, your Audience Maximiser, your front cover, everything comes with analytical data after it's been run. So you can sit down with your client and go through and say, look, even though we may not have had an offer or we only had 4 or 5 groups through, if we look at the data, it's still attracting far more interest than any competition in the marketplace.
Fantastic. So is there a recent campaign that might stand out for you as a success with Audience Maximiser?
We've actually had a few that with the Audience Maximiser that have stood out more on a social level. I think it's very hard. That's one misconception I think a lot of agents have, is they expect to run it and physically have a result produced from that cost or investment, so to speak. I think how you really have to look at it is across the board of your listings and not the performance of the Audience Maximiser itself, but just how your business improves overall with running the Audience Maximiser to all of your campaign.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's a key point, is the what you're actually looking for from an Audience Maximiser and how you would define a lead or even a success from that actual product, because there's the exposure, the direct inquiry, those sort of things are making it up, but just trying to not hone in on just one. I have to find a buyer, otherwise
that's exactly right, and I think that's probably the biggest issue that I sort of come across with anyone asking about the relationship of the Audience Maximiser versus creating a sale. And I think that's probably the direct correlation that you can make, is to say, well, look, if you look at our properties performing in the suburb or the region or in comparable sale, is that generating more inquiry for your properties? Well, yes, it is in general. Is it creating more traction? Well, that's obvious because you're getting the click-throughs and 20,000 ads or impressions in front of somebody for 7 days. Well, surely that 20,000 impressions is creating more of a perception of saturation in your business. And I think that's more the focus you need to have, not the direct, we got a buyer from running an Audience Maximiser.
And I've had some people refer to it as a digital letterbox drop. Same sort of concept, as in I've reached 20,000 people or been out there getting my brand in front of them, that the add-on from that could be a future lead, a future vendor, a future buyer. It's not all about just that one person. You might actually tap on the shoulder and get them to buy that property.
That's exactly right. And I think any agency that's still running the letterbox campaigns is almost a little bit backward in the cost of printing, or even if you're doing a direct mail out of a just listed, for argument's sake, the cost of running that is going to be $1 to print, $1 to post, $2 a house. So for the cost of $400 or $600 or $800, depending on what package of Audience Maximiser you're doing, reality is you can't physically get that message out to that many people.
And probably the point of difference is the targeted audience. Knowing actually, imagine if you could go out to a street and know which vendors want to go on the market or want to buy, and you could actually just drop it in their letterbox. Audience Maximiser being a targeted audience that's been profiled, being able to actually serve ads to people that are, looking at what types of properties you've got to offer that match their needs.
That's exactly right. And the other way that you've also got to look at the focus on is, because it is targeted, the person who's targeting any of one of your listings specifically is the owner of that property. So they're actually most likely to see their property more than anyone else, because they're the ones that are saving their own property, sharing their own property, and constantly looking at their own property. And reality is, it's your vendors that you want to see with the product that they're spending their money on. So that is the person you really want to see the property the most.
Yeah. And what sort of feedback have you had from vendors as far as the results when you have those discussions around the performance of the campaigns?
I think the advantage to your vendors is being able to sit down with a report at the end of the week, and even though you may not have had the physical numbers or the physical phone calls or email inquiry in relation to the property, you can see spikes in activity, particularly with the Audience Maximiser. That week, you generally see more people saving and sharing the property. And it's more about the interaction. I think, once again, you have to roll it into an entire campaign. It's almost like saying we ran 4 ads in the paper and we did an editorial. Well, the editorial's not going to get you any business. That's if the 4 ads in the paper did. But I think essentially that's how you've got to look at it. It's got to be a package, not an individual product.
Yeah, certainly. So your team, so they've been on Audience Maximiser all, the sentiment around the team, like having embraced this program, and what's their feeling about it?
I think as a principle, all of your salespeople will come to you saying, how do we get more listings? We need more listings. Joe Blogs down the road, they're doing this. It's very easy to focus on what other agents are doing. So I've always had a mantra from the day I started the office, is that I will give my staff the tools that they need to perform at a level higher than any other agency. We've got access to tools and products that we've locked away that other agents can't access in our suburb. So there is absolutely no reason that my agents can't sit in front of somebody assuring them that they are listing with the best agency, with the best online presence for one of the top suburbs in Queensland. I think as a principal, my job's done to some degree, that if I can assure them and look at them in the eye with confidence, saying what we do is far superior than what the majority of our competition is doing.
Yeah, and look, you've always been an early adopter of our products, that's for sure. So we launched something and you're one of the first to get on it and give it a go and try it, and that's been great, because I suppose as others play catch up, then it's moved to the next product.
Yeah, by the time someone sees what you're doing creating success, we're already talking about what we're doing next. So reality is, it's only complementing that people want to get on board and do what we're doing.
Yeah, awesome. So in wrapping up, if I said it in 3 words, how would you describe Audience Maximiser all?
I think 3 words, it would be growth for yourself. By adopting the program, you've got the ability that you can't look at it as an office perspective. Everything you're doing as an individual agent. I think if you can get a principal on board to make it compulsory, then you're already going to have the edge. And naturally, if it's no other option, you're going to go out and sell it, as my salespeople do. But you've got to focus on it as it's allowing your business, as you as a salesperson, to grow by having those facilities and access to know that your name, your product, your properties are being showcased to your market to a higher level. And reality is, the more the people that see your property, the more times you're going to get called in the door, and at the end of the day, that's what real estate's about. Oh, absolutely. It's getting a seat in the living room to be able to do what agents do best, and pitch for the business and win the business, and ultimately sell the homes for people. So I think some of those keys there are absolutely access the tools, utilise your account manager as well to make sure that, if you need tips and training and education, those sort of things, totally available as part of your realestate.com.au partnership. And we want to help you on the journey, because there's a lot of new stuff out there, and if we can make this side a little bit easier, again, allowing agents to focus on the key part that they do, which is list and sell property, and make that marketing element just that little bit easier, and we're more than happy to help out. So I think if there's one key you take from it, is work with your account manager, not against them. Because if you've got a great relationship, there's so much on offer that you can actually adopt to improve your business literally overnight.
Get the most out of your membership. Grant, thank you very much.
No
Been
worries.
very
Thank you,
informative, and good luck with the rest of the campaigns, and look forward to future success.
Thank you, always
Excellent.
a pleasure.
Thanks, Grant.